I want to discuss some of the pitfalls that you can avoid if you're looking to buy a home. My name is Bradley Bianca with Epic Realty. Let's talk some real estate. Buying a home is one of the biggest decisions that you'll ever make in your life, probably aside from picking the person you're going to spend the rest of your life with. So it's really critical that we look at all the factors that are involved when buying a house. One thing that we don't want to do is to go into that process blindly. Having an understanding of what you can look for when buying a house can be critical to finding the right home and feeling good about what you did. In today's video, I want to kind of expound on some of the pitfalls that buyers usually run into. When you're looking to buy a home, always talk with the lender first and get pre-approved. They will ask for certain documentations that will allow you to be able to know exactly what you're going to look for, how much you can afford. When you understand the budget of what you're looking for, it narrows your search and can make it easier to find the right home. One thing that I want to call out though, when dealing with a lender, is you might get pre-approved for more than what you want to pay for. Just because the lender gives you a certain amount does not mean that you have to go find a house in that range. Understand your budget, know what you're comfortable with in your payment, talk with your lender, and then let's work with that number to go find your house. The second pitfall, many people neglect to do the market research before they look into a neighborhood. If you have a good realtor, they're going to show you some of the amenities there. They may talk about the transportation, how far is it from your work, from your family, from your church, wherever you may go on a regular basis. These are factors that you want to think about when picking out the right home. Additionally, how is the area that you're wanting to buy in? Is that a potential possibility where you could sell it at a higher value? Are there things being developed around there? Again, talk to your realtor and understand the neighborhood so you make the right decision. The third thing I want to mention, probably one of the most crucial things, is when you're buying a home, never overlook the inspection. I know a lot of times it's tempting to say, hey, I look at this house, it looks good. I had my mom and my dad come look at it. I had my buddies come look at it, and they don't see anything wrong with it. I can promise you that an inspector will find things that we can't see when we're just looking at the house. They understand the codes and the laws and the safety measures that we may not understand. The fourth thing that I want to mention, and probably the most important, is understanding the costs that are involved with buying a home. It's very critical that you understand how much money you might have to bring to the closing table before you even get started. Because sometimes you may need to save up for a certain period to be able to get to that point. A few things that I want to call out. Your down payment on your loan. That just depends on what type of loan you get. Those down payments can range anywhere between 3% to 20%. You may be able to get a loan that does not have any down payment. And then there are some programs that you may be able to get that if you do have a down payment, it might be able to help out with some of that down payment. So always consider that, because that down payment is what you have to bring to the closing table. In addition to the down payment, when you find a house that you like, you've got to put an offer in on it. And that offer is going to consist of earnest money. Your earnest money, you typically is supposed to be up to 1% of whatever the purchase price is going to be. So that could be hefty. You don't have to go up to that point, but the more earnest money, the more consideration you put with your offer, it shows how serious you really are on that offer. So be considering that when you're looking at a home. So if your budget is $200,000 on a home, you may want to think, I can go up to $2,000 on earnest money. You may not have to, but just be prepared for that. The second thing that you need to consider, and I've already mentioned it, is the home inspection. An inspection on your home, depending on the size of the home, could range anywhere between $400 and $1,000, maybe even more, just depending on the size of the home. So put back some money for that inspection. The third thing that you want to think about, you're going to have to connect utilities. In some cases, you'll have deposits. It'll be a couple of $100s in deposits. You may have some prepaids that you have to pay from a tax standpoint. So how much of the taxes do you have to pay for that year? When you get insurance on the home, you may have to pay a prorated amount. So just talk with your realtor, talk with your lender, and understand how much it could actually cost. The last thing I want to mention is emotional decisions. Don't let emotions cloud your judgment. A lot of times when we're looking for homes, we're walking into that first home and hey, this has got to be the one. It might not be the exact one that you need. Always use logic. Go through the steps that I've already mentioned. Is it in a good neighborhood? What's the market look like around in that neighborhood? What are the housing conditions Is there going to be potential problems down the road? Consider all of these things and make a logical decision rather than an emotional decision. Now, that's not to say you won't come across the first one, and that's the one. That happens all of the time, but just be conscientious of that when you're looking at homes. I hope these tips have helped you. I would love to sit down and talk with you more. If you're interested in buying a home, check out my video on buying a home for the first time. And if you're interested in learning more, click the link below. I'd love to connect with you, kind of learn more about your plan and see what we can start doing today to help you get into that home. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.